I thought I'd stay with you for a while tonight and keep you company as you get ready for sleep. This is just a quiet conversation by the fire, so there is nothing you need to follow and nothing you need to remember. You can listen to the words when you want to, or simply let my voice become another sound in the room. Get comfortable in whatever way feels good right now. Move your pillow if you need to. Pull the blanket closer or change positions whenever you feel like it. You have plenty of time to find a position you like without trying to stay perfectly still. There is something especially nice about hearing a fireplace from bed. You can stay under the covers while the fire carries on across the room, close enough to hear the wood crack every now and then. It is one of those sounds that does not really ask for your attention. I was watching a fire earlier and thinking about how easy it is to lose track of time when you look at one. The flames never move in quite the same way twice, and the logs slowly change without you noticing exactly when it happens. You can watch for a while and suddenly realize much more time has passed than you expected. This kind of evening always makes me want something warm to drink. I'd probably make a cup of tea and bring it to bed, then leave it somewhere nearby until it was almost cold, because I got too comfortable to reach for it. Somehow that happens quite often with bedtime tea. I'd probably have a book with me too, although I'm not sure how much reading would actually happen. Sometimes you reach the bottom of a page and realize you have read the same few lines more than once. That is usually when the book can stay open beside you and the rest of the story can wait. I actually like leaving a book unfinished at night. There is something nice about knowing there are still pages waiting for another day without needing to know what happens next right now. You can stop in the middle of a chapter and return whenever you feel like it. Late evenings have a different feeling when most of the lights are turned down. A small lamp beside the bed is enough, especially when there is already a fireplace giving the room that warm glow. Everything else can stay a little darker around the edges. Candles are nice at this hour too, even when you do not really need the extra light. Their little flames move just enough to catch your eye for a moment. Then they become part of the background again. Between them and the fireplace, the room has all the light it needs. Outside the window, the trees would be almost completely dark by now. During the day, you would notice every branch and all the different shades between them. But at night, they become simple shapes against the sky. From here, they can just stay quietly in the distance. I like being inside when it is dark outside, especially when the room feels warm enough that you have no reason to leave the covers. The window separates everything so neatly, with the night on one side and the bed on the other. For the next few hours, being on this side feels like a very good choice. A slightly cold night makes a warm bed feel even better. The first few seconds under the covers can feel cool, and then everything slowly becomes the right temperature around you. After that, getting back out becomes much less appealing. Fresh bedding makes such a difference too. Clean sheets have that cool feeling when you first get in, and the pillows somehow seem a little nicer, even when they are exactly the same ones you always use. It is one of those small things that can make bedtime feel special without any real reason. I prefer a bed that looks a little lived in at this time of night. The pillows do not need to sit perfectly. The blanket can be folded back, and a book can stay wherever you left it. Once you are in bed, nobody needs the room to look ready for a photograph. There is probably a mug sitting somewhere nearby by now. With the tea getting colder while we talk, I always think I will finish it before bed, and somehow the last few sips are usually still there later. Warm drinks seem to have a habit of becoming bedside decorations. If I were choosing the mug for a night like this, I would pick one of those big ceramic ones that feels a little heavy in your hands. Something simple that keeps the drink warm for a long time and fits nicely between both palms. Little things like that somehow belong in a room with with a fireplace. The sound of the wood becomes more interesting the longer you listen without trying to listen. At first, it is simply a fire. Then, every now and then, one small crack stands out before disappearing into the room again. A moment later, you may have forgotten about it completely. That is probably why fireplace sounds work so well at night. They are never completely the same, but they are familiar enough that you do not need to wonder what comes next. The sound can continue in the background while your attention goes wherever it wants. Sometimes it is nice to have a voice around in the same way. You do not need to answer me or keep track of where the conversation is going. I can talk about little things for a while, and if you stop following halfway through a sentence, nothing important will be missed. There are enough conversations during the day where you need to listen carefully and think about what to say next. This one does not need anything from you. You can hear a few words, lose track for a while, then notice my voice again whenever it happens. I was thinking about those mornings when you wake up and realize you still have time before you need to get out of bed. You look at the clock, expecting it to be much later, then discover there is another hour waiting for you. Few things make a pillow feel better than finding out you can stay on it. The nicest part is going back under the covers, knowing you are allowed to disappear for a little longer. You do not have to start thinking about breakfast or getting dressed yet. The morning can wait on the other side of that extra hour. There is a similar feeling at night when you know you are finally finished with everything you wanted to do. Not everything in the world is finished, of course, but your part in the day can be. Whatever is left will still be there when you wake up. I think bedtime gets much nicer when you stop treating it like something you have to be good at. You do not need to fall asleep at the perfect time or find the perfect position immediately. Sometimes you move around for a while, turn the pillow over, and eventually forget that you were trying at all. If you feel like moving, you can move without thinking about it. If the blanket feels nicer, higher up, pull it higher. And if your pillow needs another adjustment, give it one. Comfort does not need to look graceful when nobody is watching. The fire will keep doing its own thing while you find what works for you. A log might shift slightly. The flames may become smaller for a while. Then another little crack will come from somewhere inside. None of it needs a response. I like sounds that leave enough room for silence around them. A fireplace does not fill every second, and that is part of what makes it pleasant. You get the little sounds of the wood, and then enough space between them for the room to feel still. The later it gets, the less interesting the clock becomes. There is no need to keep checking how long you have been here or calculating how many hours are left before morning. The night can pass without being measured. You might notice my voice less often after a while, and that is completely fine. There is nothing coming later that you need to stay awake to hear. The conversation can keep going without needing to arrive anywhere. I could tell you about the book beside the bed, or the tea we forgot about, or the trees outside that are barely visible now. They are all simple little parts of the same evening, and none of them need much thought. They are just nice things to have around while the room gets quieter. Maybe the best part about a night like this is how ordinary it is. Nothing exciting needs to happen for it to feel good. Sometimes a comfortable bed, a familiar voice, and the sound of burning wood are enough to make you want the evening to last a little longer. The book can stay where it is until morning, and the tea can stay on the table, even if it has gone completely cold by now. The room does not need anything else from us tonight. Everything is already where it needs to be. You can let my words pass without trying to hold on to them. A sentence can come into your attention for a moment and be forgotten before the next one begins. There is no story to follow and no ending you need to wait for. The fireplace can fill the spaces where there are no words. Its sound has been here the whole time, sometimes easy to notice, and sometimes almost disappearing behind everything else. It can carry on in exactly the same way while you rest. I'm glad I could keep you company for this part of the night. You can leave the conversation behind whenever you want and let the sound of the fire stay with you instead. There is plenty of night left, and you do not need to do anything with it except stay comfortable where you are. For now, you can simply remain under the covers and let everything around you become less important. The room will stay warm. The fire will keep burning, and morning can arrive whenever it is ready. Good night.